Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 12 of Jace Beleren Must Die. It's imperative. He must. I didn't say when, but it'll happen. I'm sure.
I mean,
eventually.
this episode.
Maybe old age.
I would say old age. Welcome to episode 12 of Jace Beleren Must Die of Old Age.
Surrounded by his grandkids.
That's right. His little Bellerins.
Little Bell, yeah.
Yeah. Little, I think, who is Beleren? Jace, I think last time, if my magic canon is correct, the last romantic entanglement that Jace had was with Vraska, but that was when he had his mind wiped and he didn't even know he was a giant douchebag, though she's kind of a douchebag, so like maybe
it's like, wait, hold on. Did they do Overboard? Did they
so I'm gonna just try really hard to remember this, and I'm sorry people who actually know anything about Magic's canon, but I think in Ixalan block, he like had some kind of mind oopsie where he like had his brain wiped and he ended up in Ixalan and he didn't know that he was Jace Beleren, monster douchebag. And then he like kind of fell in love with Vraska, but Vraska was there working for Nicol Bolas, who's like a plane killing dragon. And then
I know what you said, but I thought you were gonna say Nickelback. And
Nickelback, Nicol Bolas.
guy.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much how that goes. And then I think he got his memory back and then he ran off. Right, he wiped his own mind, which if I were Jace, I would also do that. Be like, man, I am the worst. Blip.
Look at this photograph.
Perfect.
Good.
No,
awesome.
he wants to be a rock star. Want a bathroom I can play baseball in.
I want a bathroom so I can play baseball.
Yeah, no, that's an actual
big enough to
Nickelback
play
lyric.
baseball.
Mhm,
Yeah,
Oh.
it's from Rockstar.
Yeah.
That's a real line from
Yes, from a Nickelback song. Yeah. I mean, the
He
song,
wants to be a
the song is supposed to be satirical, but like it does come across as like
It's
pretty real.
It's too upbeat to be satirical, in my opinion,
I
because
think-
it's just
yeah.
like, yeah, I do want a bathroom big enough to play baseball in. I do want that.
It's like Nickelback listened to Money for Nothing and didn't get it, and then made their own version. And they were like, "Yeah, I've got to move these microwave ovens." You know, like it's just
wow.
Yeah.
That is very observant. That's awesome.
not
I'm
great.
just thinking about Money for Nothing.
I really like that song. I think because I was of like almost exactly the right age, maybe a little too young, but that was like the first big like video on MTV, right? That weird CG like
computer.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember seeing that and getting that song stuck very deeply in my young childhood brain.
The lyrics on it though, like that was a mainstream song. We're not going to talk about the lyrics, but yeah, that was whew.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I remember seeing the video for that and the video for that
Al.
Peter Gabriel song, Sledgehammer, maybe.
Oh, where stop animation.
Yeah.
Yes,
both of those
that's
and being
awesome.
very unsettled by both of them and just kind of being like, wow, music videos are weird. For people who are too young to remember this, there was a brief period of time where there were channels on television dedicated to only playing music videos.
Yeah.
And then occasionally having like hip 20-somethings tell you about what music videos you just watched and then the videos you were about to watch.
Yeah,
And then they broke it
BET.
out into themed shows for different videos, but all of the good songs were like relegated to the show you could only watch in the middle of the night and nobody was up. So
There also was like a brief moment. Like I remember when Michael Jackson's Black or White came out,
It's
it was on
black.
Fox at like 7 p.m. They debuted it like prime time. It was a big deal. It was like, well, we're Fox and we're gonna play the new Michael Jackson like song, and it's like gonna be an hour long. And you're like, what? It was great. I remember we ordered pizza.
there used to be like cool events. Like I remember they let Weird Al take over MTV like once a year. It was like a special, and he would just play whatever weird videos, and you'd get to watch like they'd play UHF like 3 times in a weekend.
Oh God, yeah. I used to love UHF.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
What's the
I
name of that
started
show?
watching MTV when the challenge started, and that I never let go.
See, MTV, there's this I guess it's still a thing, but the modern incarnation of it is more like reality TV shows and like shows about pregnant teenagers, right?
What is the challenge? What is that?
It's a game show. It's kind of like Survivor and The Bachelorette had a child.
Oh, okay.
but
So like
like
a competitive reality show. Is that right?
yeah, but they let people who are from other reality TV shows come on. So it used to be only the
Oh
people.
shit!
from
It was
Road
like the
Rules
Super
and-
Smash Bros of
Yeah.
reality TV.
Yeah.
It
Well,
genuinely
Fuck
is.
yeah, that's
There
There are
great.
people from like Love Island in the UK. There are people from Big Brother. Anyways, the challenge, if you really like game, like if you love like Survivor for like the game, the challenge does a really good job of being that, but trash, which is my brand.
I remember it was
I was like, what is this?
there was a time on MTV where there was only 2 reality shows, and it was Real World, which
Yep.
was for a long time, and then Road Rules.
Road
Mhm.
Rules.
Road Rules, yeah.
Road Rules was great.
Yeah.
And then they decided to combine the 2, and I think this was the start of it all, called Real World Road
Yeah.
Rules Challenge.
Yeah,
And
that was
then-
the first.
Okay, then that must be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Now it's everybody. It's just Smash
Wow.
Brothers.
I'd like to say that it wasn't trash before, but it was always trash. They
It's always
just went
trash.
international, apparently.
Well, the thing
The thing about this though,
yeah.
no, sorry, the thing about the challenge is that they let people come back.
Mhm.
Right.
So like
Oh,
it's
that's nice.
Survivor if you were allowed to come back season after season. So people are like, I've won 6 times. Like so
Mhm.
it's got a really weird like legacy
It's
dynamic
like
to it.
Hunger Games.
It's like if I want to make a career,
the Running Man.
yeah,
Out of challenges.
I gotta learn the
And
challenge.
being
That's
around shitty people.
it.
No,
This is how I want
There's
to
a
live
really-
my life.
I
There's a
left
really-
retail for this reason.
There's a really good episode of I want to say This American Life where it's like an interview with a producer from a reality TV show, and she basically like the whole episode she's just like on the verge of tears talking about how like you have to be really mean to produce a reality TV show and you have to like make people relive the worst stuff that happened to them.
Oh my
And how I
God.
think what was the phrase? She's like, could you say that again, but in the form of a statement? So like you have to say the thing. So they would ask a question and be like, you have to start with the question I just asked you so that I don't have to ask you so it doesn't look faked. And they would have to do multiple takes and people would just be like really upset about some awful thing that happened. Be like, that's really good, but can you say it again?
Yeah.
But like say
When
what I
Janine
just
threw
asked
the
you.
pie at me. Yeah.
They're
yeah.
just like sobbing and like apparently it's just awful. But if you're looking for a venue where editing is like masterfully done, reality TV shows, like their editing makes the narrative. Like it's beautiful in its own cruel way.
I definitely noticed that, like, as I started editing more, I'm just like, how do they, because I know they're not shooting hours upon hours and going through it to like weave it together. They have like a legit thing that they're going out to do today.
Yeah.
They're going to film it and they're going to get the narrative that they want, regardless if it actually happens or not.
Yeah.
And that must be so difficult to do.
Yeah, it's a fascinating discipline. I think it's super cool. And I'm that kind of like film dork that I'm like, tell me more about editing. I want to know about that.
Yeah.
How does that work? I don't care about stunts. Give me those editors. Give me a reality TV show about editors.
But it's also the reason reality TV is like so huge is because like one, it costs nothing to make apparently.
Mm.
And like and people love it. So it's just like, why would they put time into writers and actors and like all like, you know, an entire crew when they can get a small crew and some reality people and just film them?
Mhm.
And like that was the death of cinema.
Oh,
I feel like if it weren't for copyright, like automated copyright bots for audio, it would be really easy to do. I mean, fuck, this is just Wayne's World. To do like a Twitch, like MTV style, like watch music videos, like channel.
Yeah.
If you weren't trying to make any money, I guess. But yeah, like that'd be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah. Oh wow, we're totally streaming a D&D game right now and we're just like
We'll get around to it. It's fine. We're
Okay.
interesting people.
What-
We're warming up.
what
This
is-
is the warm up.
what
This
is
is
the-
how it goes.
What's the rules for Twitch? Can you play like a movie and comment? Can you do like Mystery Science Theater
No,
3000?
so you it's almost all the bots that activate on copyright stuff are based on audio. So they look for waveforms. So they're like,
Gotcha.
this is a waveform that matches a song that we know. And sometimes that's a clip. Sometimes it's like games get busted for this if they have like a popular song in them or the credits are like a song that's released on an album or whatever. But I think for like video, there isn't like there's no bot capable of being like, wait a second, that's Jack Black. This is probably School of Rock.
Gulliver's
You're in
Travels.
trouble. Yeah, right. Like there's no that's not a thing that there's technology for yet. So I think video is less a thing. Because I do like trailer time, which is a thing where I just watch movie trailers for like 3 hours and like talk shit
Yeah.
about them. And that's fine. I've never had a strike on any of that, except when there's like a Smash Mouth song in the trailer or whatever, you know. So you could get away with that, I think. But if somebody found out about it, or if it got big, and then somebody that works in legal at like Paramount saw it, they'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just make it into a waveform format, and then you're good. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right. Just try not to have the audio in it. Well, and that's the thing is like the different, like there are ways people try to like get around that, but it's very difficult. The robots are very smart and they can hear.
no,
you.
I meant more like Simpson wave. You guys know about that? Like where they
Yeah.
like turn into like a wave form of that and just like play it like
Yeah.
super like warbled and
Yeah, if you want, I guess if you wanted to do like a DJ Screw thing and be like,
Yeah.
we're gonna listen to this one song, and normally the song's 3 minutes, but it's gonna take us 45 minutes to get through it because they're playing it at 1/800th its normal speed. Yes, the robots probably couldn't figure that out.
Fucking
Great
stupid
channel.
robots.
Yeah.
It's all Alvin and the Chipmunk covers.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're finding out in the campaign right now. Robots are the real enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Big brother.
Especially alien robots that are brought here to surveil you. Yes.
Exactly.
That's also true. Yeah. Very topical.
Very political.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wake up, sheeple!
I'm sure Tack has said that at least twice
Yeah.
in their
Oh my god.
definitely.
I don't know if Tack is evil enough to use the word sheeple unironically.
Mhm. I feel like you have to be chaotic evil for that one.
They're real evil, but ooh.
It's a different sort. Yeah. Neutral evil is a personal sort of evil, not a
Yeah.
societal kind of evil.
Yeah.
Also, and here's a question for Wizards of the Coast: are there sheep in Ravnica? I don't think
Please. Please tell us.
so. We need to know these things.
Let us
I
know.
do love sheep.
There's definitely like goat like people.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, they're
they're-
goatmen for sure. Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
you know.
Do
Sure, they
people
hate being called
okay? The
Be a goatman, not a sheeple.
yeah, that feels racist now.
Have you guys ever heard that story of that guy who was just like hanging out in his field, and he was looking at these like a herd of sheep, and he looked at one of them, and it was a man dressed like a sheep, like just like in the thing. Look it up. It's hilarious.
Amazing. Just like going out to check your sheep here, like sheep,
He was just like,
sheep,
"That's a-"
sheep. Gary.
Yeah. Gary was just hanging out with the sheep.
God,
Hanging out. All right.
They're just like,
you don't know it was actually.
damn
a
it, Steven,
wolf
not
inside
again.
That's some
Right, it's a
terror,
wolf
though.
dressed
I
as a
would-
person dressed as a sheep.
oh no.
Exactly.
I would be
Oh, that's
terrified
horrible.
if I was just looking at a bunch of animals and one of them was a human being. Like,
Yeah, that'd be very unsettling. I wouldn't be into that. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Horse Girl?
No.
There's
No.
a woman, that's a woman who runs like a horse, like with her arms.
Oh yeah, yeah. She looks like that boss from Dark
Right.
Souls. Yeah.
You
Right,
are a
basically.
liar.
And jumps
She looked like a
over
wheeler
an entire
from
lunch,
Richard
like
Oz.
one of those picnic tables. At
Yeah.
a
Do
park.
I need to
Like-
have safe search on for this?
She runs around
I-
like a Bort of the Boreal Valley. Like yeah.
Exactly.
Terrifying.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh.
really
Right.
terrifying. Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
Oh, I just typed in horse girl and it's a bunch of girls with horses. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was really petrified for a second because
Horse
we filmed
running
a parody music
girl
video.
running
Horse
like
Girl.
horse.
Okay, here it
thought we
is.
were
Yeah,
talking
I
about
should have done that.
God, the internet is such a weird and strange and sometimes wonderful place.
It's a
like-
gift. It
Yeah,
really
it's a yeah, right,
love
exactly.
it.
It's a
Oh,
gift.
she's from Norway. Okay.
Sometimes you want to return that gift, but it's a gift nonetheless.
The first comment would be terrifying to be chased by her. It's terrifying to be chased. Like,
Yeah,
It
she
is.
does look like a person.
When was the last
from
time you
horror
guys
movie.
were chased? Can you remember the last time you were chased?
yes.
I can't.
I'm
It had to
very,
be
I'm
grade
very
school.
chased all the time, Carlos.
Like,
I want to get into God's kingdom, so. Also, the next time I see you at a con, I'm just gonna throw my bag on the floor and just run at you. So
Oh no!
get ready, Carlos. I can't run very fast, and I can't run for very long. But it'll be the
She
most
really did
terrifying
jump
12
over a
seconds of
picnic
your life.
table.
yeah. Adam Koval's chase game.
That's right. I'm gonna
Why?
get you.
Like, why did she? Why? I don't understand.
You
Can
know,
she run faster like that than is
Oh yeah, I would
like, running
imagine
like
so.
a person?
All animals run faster.
Yeah,
right?
but animals are built for that.
I think we messed up evolution wise. I think we're built for that, but we just don't.
You know,
We should all be horse people. Is
I
that
like
the
being
future
bipedal.
now?
I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
I
I
kind of
enjoy
like
it.
it. I feel like
I-
human consciousness is maybe more of a burden than it's worth, but standing up's cool and the thumbs are nice. That's useful.
The thumbs are great. Okay, the thumbs are great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote to keep the thumbs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
how
Why did we
long
stop
do
running
you have
fast?
without-
Yeah.
Oh, why? I don't know.
We all just decided we're gonna be better than everyone else.
Inside is great.
So condescending.
Tool use, agriculture. Forget you running fast. Yep. Yeah, I like it. Though, if you're interested in looking at YouTube videos about weird ways of walking, there's a great video of someone who's like a medieval historian who talks about how in the medieval times people would have walked differently because of the shoes that they wear. And it is amazing. This guy is just like prancing around. He's like, everyone walked like this. And I'm like,
Wait, it's prancing?
really?
It's not like,
oh yeah.
I was thinking like a weird foot thing like that.
No,
He's
it's
talking, he was like,
it's very like delicate looking, and I just imagine like a whole village of medieval peasants just kind of like flouncing about like they're in a musical. It's so good.
Yeah,
What is
the
this
idea that
information
it's
based on,
well, because like they wouldn't have a lot of arch support in their shoes and stuff, but I don't know. It had the SCA in a tizzy for a little while because we were like, I don't know about this, bruh.
Yeah, I don't know about the historical accuracy of it, but it's fun to watch and just to
It is
imagine.
fun.
And then next time you start a D&D game, show your players that video. Be like, we're gonna be historically accurate, so this is what your characters walk like. And they're like,
your characters are
nope.
walking like this.
That's what it looks like. Everyone's walking around, doing
Yeah.
little, like
Friends.
walking
Come
on
on.
their toes.
It was very interesting to watch because a lot of us wear medieval shoes and shoes made in a medieval way. And a lot of us wear like wool inserts, mostly because they wick away sweat, they wick away moisture, and they're comfy. And so it was very interesting to watch. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But we don't wear them 24/7. So maybe that's the difference. Like our feet have acclimated to modern shoes, and then we
But
just
did you
happen
want to prance? Like when you put them on, are you just like,
Carlos,
Have
don't care.
have I ever danced to Pavon? Is that what you're asking?
I don't care what shoes I'm wearing. I always want
I'm
to be
always
prancing.
prancing.
That's right.
Oh, that prance lady.
Put on
This
an
is a
prance
ABP.
world.
Always be prancing. Yep. Well, let's prance our way over to Ravnica because we have a heist to
Segue. Look at that.
24 minutes, new record. Go
Like,
us.
listen, we could legitimately just one of these days be like, cool, everybody, welcome to a new episode of Jace Beleren Must Die. We'll see you in 3 hours. We're just going to talk about bullshit until then. There is nothing, there's no game happening here. It's fun.
What if we just started the game like right when the timer went?
No.
And the people who are like, well, they're just gonna bullshit for 20 minutes, and they come back and they're like, Chase
Oh,
is dead.
you mean
Yeah.
the timer at the beginning, not the timer at the end. I see. Because I was thinking to be
the
like,
timer at the
well,
end.
it's just about new. All right, so, all right, good episode.
We only start at the break.
Yeah. Just check in, get everybody's level and hit points, and then be like, well, thanks for coming, everybody. This was technically a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Okay.
Technically D&D, the best kind.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the last few minutes of the last episode, we had perhaps the most productive conversation about getting things done that we've had so far. I would like to revisit that halcyon time. What is the plan here? You have a person who has been, by certainly no action of your own, arrested by the Azorius Senate in connection with some kind of criminal behavior. I believe that they think that he is responsible for the fire that Tax started in some way because and the murder of several Azorius officers during that whole rigmarole because somebody, I'm not going to point fingers, but somebody left a piece of paper with his name and address on it at the scene of the crime. So the Azorius arrested this person, and then also there is some kind of internal thing going on with this woman who charmed Road last time. And we don't, I don't think there's consensus on who this lady is, but she's bad news.
A mind mage.
Yeah, some kind of mind taker.
Yeah, spell charmed her. I was
Good
like,
thing.
did I miss a romance?
Good thing Togor
I
has
wish.
a wisdom of 6. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, so you're back in your now very crowded with stuff karaoke room at the Host in the Shell, which remains in the border between precincts 4 and 5 in the shadow of the Orzhov citadel, and you are plotting how to break this fine fellow out so that you can deliver him to the Rose, or I guess do whatever you want with him. You just need to get your hands on him. So what is the first stage of Operation Jailbreak? What are you gonna do? What's gonna happen?
Street justice.
So
Stop.
I want to go get a Rakdos distraction from some of their like death clowns and some of the other like circus performers.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
they're-
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's a
Is
fair.
that a real job title? Death
Oh,
Clown?
yeah.
I mean, Blood Witch definitely is.
Oh yeah, Blood Witch is that. If I can get a Blood
I'm gonna
Witch,
look
but
this up.
like
One sec.
That's pretty.
Like-
they're pretty serious. Yeah.
they're really high up there.
Yeah.
But if that can happen, and Precinct 1 has no idea what's gonna come to it, like
Oh,
it'd be very
boy.
fun.
Okay, so is that a mission you undertake alone, or do you bring a friend with you?
I take Tack with me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
That
love
seems
the
like a good. That seems
circus.
like a good call. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, are you heading to an active, ongoing performance, or is there like a particular person you're gonna go and seek out, or like where do you go when you want to recruit death clowns for your operation?
I imagine I head back to my original troop, and then
Okay.
from there I seek out my ringleader,
Mhm.
and like interact with them. And what
okay.
way of being like spreading the word and getting that out there, or if possible, if there's a tavern that they all engage at in between shows and performances.
Yeah, there is. What is the name of that place? There's like there's a Rakdos like citadel. What is that place called? Let me look it up. It's got like a for real's name.
I think I know, or Google does.
Yeah, I tried to look it up, but looking up Rakdos Citadel just gives me deck lists. So, yeah, because that could be. I mean, that's like the main HQ for them. So you could go there, but you don't have a personal connection to Rix Mahdi. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Rix Mahdi, or the Dungeon Palace, the guild hall of the cult of Rakdos, located in the Undercity under a large mountain, and holds the lava pit in which Rakdos himself slumbers. Ooh, that sounds fun.
Slumbers.
Yeah, he says, because if you slumber, you gotta have a party.
It is
yeah.
located. It is actually located in the Undercity. So
It is. Yeah.
Why y'all gotta be so extra though?
Yeah. Demon Palace. Under a volcano. It's great. You all dwell in the terrible nightmare of Rakdos.
I mean,
himself.
I'm into it. I ain't gonna lie, but
Yeah, so I think I guess this is up to you, Torgor. So is your troop currently performing, or are they planning a performance? Would you find Kerfuffle at an active circus, or is Kerfuffle and company kind of taking a rest period in Rix Mahdi?
I think right now they're setting up their tent for a performance, but it's still like a process because they have to get everything like ready beforehand. There's decadence as well as debauchery at play.
You gotta have both.
And so you gotta have both. And so in order for that to happen, there's also like the anticipation of it growing.
Oh, so they're doing the pre-show where they're like setting up, and people in the neighborhood are like, "What's all the screaming about?"
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go there, like where I'm not sure where in. Let's say they're in. Let me look at the map.
Yeah, and I mean, we can kind of set the stage in terms of like whose audience is this show going to be for? Like, are they aiming for a general audience? Are they inviting, like, if it's near Precinct, like the northern part of Precinct 4, then it'll be mostly Gruul. Like, who are they setting out to entertain?
I think probably they're in Precinct 6. And this one's more for the common folk that are in the area. The sort of like, this is more of a low class show that will have the tax collectors coming in, that'll have sort of like the higher ups reaching down to the bottom.
Yeah.
to go witness this, because it's still like, as much as they're civilized and they're never going to talk about it, they want to be there.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So precinct 6 is great because it's got a big chasm cut through it, dead bridge, where you can get like close access to the Golgari from there. Precinct 6 is basically mostly like warehouses and working tenements, and it's like a mercantile hub. So yeah, pretty far away from any Azorius presence. So great place to go and meet there. There is a Rakdos club here called the Gore House, where maybe you meet with Kerfuffle in between times. So that's certainly an option as well.
For sure.
Okay, cool. All right,
Yeah.
so we fade in then on Precinct 6, and Tack and Torgor walking along, heading for I guess the site of this circus. What are the two of you talking about? Are there preparations being made on your way to the circus, or?
I think Togor feels that look, Tech, you're crazy. Everyone's gonna love that. You know, everyone's a real fan of that, where I'm coming. But I'm gonna look to you in order to reinforce what we're doing. But Torgor needs your backup on this. That is directed madness.
I wasn't listening.
Torgor honestly knew this. Torgor could tell right away. It's fine. Let's just go.
Okay.
Okay. So as you finish that brief preparatory conversation, you come around the corner,
well.
and you see there's an empty space probably at the edge of Midori Park over here. There is an empty space that is being used to set up for the circus. So I'll let you tell me a little bit more about this, because this is your troupe.
Yeah.
What kind of circus? Like, what do we see in this open area as it's being set up?
So you've got, first of all, there's the massive tent that's being like constructed and put up right in the center of the space. And on the outside, you have all the other like smaller tents that have some of like the gallery shows that are on the outside, where people can get some like crazy food, like unknown like gruel meat. You could even find like zombie flesh in a weird like tasty format that they barbecue. Like they have a blast with it. You can also find.
Oh my god! Like, is this one of those like we kill it, you grill it type situations where like they have a show and then the loser gets made into kebabs afterwards?
You know, they do. It's a giant sort of roast that they're waiting on.
I love it.
Spit
like a big
they're
pit
ready
barbecue.
For. Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
And so within that, they also have like some of the like animals out and about already in like their cages, like, and some of them coming out, getting like used to the space. Not all of them are aggressive right now, but some of them are definitely like ferocious and monstrous.
Yeah. So there's a kind of a vicious animal in Ravnica called appropriately a crunch. So they're probably like a pen of angry crunch getting ready to fight when the arena gets put together, and then after that, people will be able to feast on loser.
For sure.
Get
Loser
crunch,
meat.
crunch burgers, loser kebabs. It's gonna be great.
They even were lucky enough to get a deal with some girl to get a worm, actual,
so
like,
that's like
just
the big-
a steak of a worm, like not an entire worm, because that would be ridiculous, but a good nice like worm steak that they're getting ready to turn into a worm steak stew.
Yeah, I'm into it. Okay, cool. So it's as much like a street food kind of festival as it is a murder circus.
Well, and then they also have like kind of like what would we equate to like games on the side, but like other like magically assorted, like you have to like shoot a fireball at the target to gain this, but like they don't
and the
know
target
that
is a
there's
person tied to a post. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool. So
Exactly.
so Tack, you're with Torgor, and I think Torgor, you recognize these people. They recognize you, right? You're in
Yeah.
like a good standing. You have a little bit of rival with Kerfuffle, but like you're in good standing. You're one of their like beast masters, and so there's a lot of like waving and nodding, and we walk by a group of juggalos stirring some kind of pot, getting ready for the food part of it, and someone sharpening their knives for the knife throw. A bunch of laborers like starting to lift the various tents. And already like this place, since you're so close to the chasm, right, to the underground, this place is already like pretty familiar to you too, Tack, though you've never seen a Rakdos like circus here before, I don't think.
Tack's never been to the circus. Very excited.
Yeah, so it's like, and you're like backstage for the circus too, so you're getting to see it all kind of getting put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tack's gonna run away and join the circus. Sorry, y'all.
I quit. I'm gonna join a different guild now.
Yeah, Tack thinks this is great.
Yeah. So yeah, where do you go, Torgor? Do you go try to find Kerfuffle right away?
Yeah, I think most directly because we know that Winslow will eventually be moved, and trying to hit that before that happens. I think there's like
Okay. All right. So talk to me a little bit about Kerfuffle. It's a human, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So he's a human like ringmaster. This once was a wealthy aristocrat from this family, and just like was the most wild one of his clan, and eventually just like saw it all for what it was. Killed his brother. They got drunk one night. They were playing cards, and he killed him.
Right.
And at that point, he was like, well, he deserved it. Family freaked out for whatever reason. So he left. He saw this Rakdos, and he's like, you know what? It's a good move for me.
I like
this. Yeah.
I like that he's a former noble, like formerly well off, and you've managed to make him both Batman and the Joker at the same time, which I like. I'm into that. That's good.
Oh, he's definitely a little bit like this, like real charismatic, charming, more Bruce Wayne and the Joker, I would say, as like the real combination. Doesn't need to be a detective because he's more about the showmanship and the madness. Yeah.
I like it. Okay, cool. So yeah, you know where to find him, right? He's there's no.
He's got his own sort of area in the back because he's the ringmaster.
I imagine he probably has his own tent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so so you head over there, and he has his like juggalo guards, right, watching the tent, and
hey Ben, hey Jerry.
Yeah, right. And they nod, and they pull aside the flap of the tent, and you pass through, and then they stop you. So this clown like puts his hand out in front of you, like, where you think you're going?
I was just gonna follow him. Is that cool?
Jerry, they're with me.
And the clowns look at you, and they're like, you can see them hesitating. Do you want to roll persuasion? Let's see if they'll let you have a +1 for your meeting with
I would super let them.
Can I give her advantage?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Torgor, that's a 0 on your own. With Torgor's help, though, yes, I think it makes sense that you're giving advantage. So yeah, you're just like, okay. They're like, all right, but if Kerfuffle doesn't like it, it's on you, Torgor.
Yeah, my legacy.
And so you're led into this tent, and I think it is inside. It's like theatrically dark. So like you can see the shadows of various things. There's probably a bunch of like dress forms with different jester outfits. I think that Kerfuffle's jam is like the lion tamer kind of outfit. So he's got this like comically large top hat that he can store weapons in. He does wear the clown makeup, but he's got a whole bunch of like long coats with tails and like brass buttons and whips.
Suspenders, no shirt.
Right, yeah. Kerfuffle loves whips. They're like his favorite thing. So he's got like a section of his tent where his like whip collection is all laid out, and he's inside. And we can only see him because he's sitting in a pool of lantern light. There's a lantern hanging next to his mirror, and he's sitting on a stool. And like you said, he's wearing his like high-waisted, like ringmaster pants. His suspenders are down. He's shirtless, and we can see he's like covered in scars. Like his back has all these really deep like whip scars of varying degrees of healing on them. And he's hunched over a mirror, and he's putting his makeup on when you come in.
Is this whip rack like a weapon rack, or is it like Tax Mom's whips collection? That's gonna set the tone for the rest of this conversation.
Well, I mean, and I think Tack knows this as well as anyone. Anything can be a weapon. But these are showy whips. They're whips that are meant to make noise. They're like bull whips, right? Like
Cool.
lion tamer whips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be touched with gloves. I get it.
Yeah. So when you come in, this is what you see, and I don't think Kerfuffle like says anything when you come in. He's deep like focused on like putting his makeup on.
Hey, Kerfuffle. Togor. Hi.
He slowly like, and everything he does is like very overdrawn and theatrical. So he like slowly turns his head, and he smiles, and you can see he's got he's a human, but he's like filed all of his teeth to points, and so he smiles this big shark smile, and he says, "Torgor, so good to see you. Welcome back. Where have you been?"
Making chaos. You know how it goes. Oh, I started many a rumor in Precinct 1. I convinced many of people of debaucherous things. Just building my reputation. I've got wanted posters out for me right now. It's pretty cool.
He just squints at you and he says, "While I appreciate your entrepreneurial endeavors, this is a team operation, Torgor. The Crunch Pits needed you."
My work has maybe shirked the last few days, but I work. All right, I get the job done.
We can't tolerate a shirker, not this close to showtime.
I understand.
Who's your little friend?
Oh, I wanted you to meet someone. This is a crazy Golgari goblin. Oh, I couldn't think of a G word that was along crazy. So yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't hire you for your vocabulary.
I know.
Come over here, little one.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And he reaches out and he like gestures. He makes a little like air tickling gesture. Like, come here, let me have a look at you.
Oh, I'm starting to think they are like mom's whips. I don't know.
Show him the melon baller.
Man, come on, don't bring us like
Show him
that.
the melon baller. He'll love it.
And
Okay.
he says, so he sees you like hesitate, and he's like, "Oh, don't be scared, little goblin. It's just me, your old pal Kerfuffle. Come on over here."
Not scared. I'm just, everything in your own time, like.
So do you just like stay on the other side of the
No,
room?
I come over,
You're gonna
but I
head
don't
over?
show the melon baller. It's
Okay.
just like, this is a very uncomfortable thing where like Tack has very rarely been surrounded by people more violent and dangerous than them.
Mhm.
Like, it's strange to Tack to the situation has changed. They are no longer the wild card.
Yeah, you're like, wait a second. Someone in this room is more unpredictable than I am. Okay, all right, yeah. So you come over. And how is Tack dressed? As you step into the lantern light, the pool of light around Kerfuffle, what do we see?
Oh Lord. How much time has passed between making the plan and coming here?
I imagine like none. Basically, like you came right here from there.
It's still the rhinestone leather outfit.
Day,
Okay.
night, look.
Yeah.
Look.
So I think Kerfuffle takes a long look at you, and we see you sparkling in his wide eyes, and he reaches out and he takes your lapels of your sparkly jacket. He takes your lapels in his hands, and he says, "Well, aren't you fancy? Out for a night on the town?"
My mom dressed me.
He squints. He's like,
Crazy, right? Crazy.
Tack doesn't want to take responsibility for dressing themselves.
so you're a Golgari. What do you do?
You mean as a Golgari, or just in general, or like in a existential?
He just smiles and like does that like new metal guitarist head tilt thing.
Oh, cool. Right. What do you who's your dealer?
And he says, oh, we get everything from the fortress. Rakdos makes it himself, or so I hear.
Oh, cool. Mental map that Tack draws in there. Like you see their eyes like glaze over for a second as they like draw a mental map. And then they're, yeah, cool. Do you want to maybe kill some cops?
See, crazy.
I mean, to the point,
right?
To almost anyone else, that would be a very off-putting proposal. But he looks over at Torgor, and he says, "Oh, Torgor, I like this one."
I know, right?
Yeah. And a 7 charisma.
Charisma's a complicated concept.
Yeah, it's it's a societal guess. You know, different circles.
Nice.
So he says, so I guess you're not here to get back to work?
Oh, absolutely. I will definitely be back to work. Showtime. And I know I wasn't here to put up, but you know what's going to be here to close down? When the mess happens, this guy.
You know, you're never going to raise yourself in the ranks if you don't put in the time. Gallivanting out there with your friends. You can't be a solo operator forever. We're a guild, Torgor. That means we work together.
Yeah, Torgor.
Okay. Torgor knows.
So
but Kerfuffle, come on.
Yeah, now while you're talking, Kerfuffle, like Tack, you've turned around to look at Torgor, and Kerfuffle is just like running his nails over your scalp like you're like a cat.
I don't love it.
Yeah, he's just like, and he's just like scratching your head because it's right at arm level. So, yeah.
Get out.
So he looks down at you, Tack, and he says, "Now, what was this about the Senate?"
There's an is it man in jail for honestly no good reason. And we thought that was unfair.
I heard you said police
quietly unjust. So why not break him out and show what justice should be like through the laws of nature?
He says, so you just want to do a jailbreak? Well, that's hardly any fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we want a fun jailbreak. That's why I came to you.
You know, if you just wanted to knock things over, you could join the Gruul. There needs to be a purpose.
It is a purpose. I told you, man's unjustly in jail. His brother is.
Yeah, we're like undermining his brother, who's like this weird. What's his name? Crap. Zlatek. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds weird.
He leans.
Ironclad.
He leans back and puts his hands behind his head, and he says, "You're starting to bore me, Torgor. I don't care about justice. Sell me on the concept."
You want real chaos, Kerfuffle? Tack. You know what?
Yeah,
you know
Tack,
what? Here's what it is.
Tack, pitch him the thing. Come on. Tack.
No. I looked at Tack and I was like, I'm about to tell her to go outside, but I was like, no, it doesn't matter because they'll find out anyways.
Yeah.
We're trying to kill Jace.
He leans forward like he's like, well, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more.
Well, Zlatek is working for him.
Yeah, he's got like a whole full body tattoo. And...
We know this for a fact, and we want to get his brothers to find out more. Mainly because Kerfuffle, you know, I can't lie to you. Our radical honesty. That's the bond here in Rakdos. All right, whatever you do, you do. and we respect you for it. Sometimes.
Tack is starting to not want to join the circus.
It's a circus of feelings.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he was like, well, so our Connect needs this person in order to let us do what we need to do to kill Jace.
So let me get this straight.
Mhm.
You want to break a man out of prison because he's the brother of a man who's important to the man who's the living Guildpact that keeps Ravnica together, keeps the
Yes.
guilds from murdering each other.
Mhm.
And if everything goes right, you're going to kill the Guildpact and everything's going to become chaos.
Yeah.
They like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
crazy.
we kill some cops.
Uh-huh. And hopefully many cops.
Make a persuasion check, Torgor.
I'm gonna ask for help from.
Inspiration.
Will absolutely help you.
Yeah, I think Tag's helping for sure, given the pitch.
And we'll kill some cops.
Yeah, that's helpful. Nice. I bet you got
It's a
16.
strong 16.
Yeah.
Oh, solid across both.
Solid.
He says, well, as you know, we're in the middle of something, and we don't have a lot of time for side projects, Torgor, so I can't give you too much. But
Understand.
how can your old pal Kerfuffle help?
Well, I was thinking we could get maybe like 5 or 10 of the clowns. I know there's roughly 40, and the show's gonna be going on for a couple days. We got to cycle them out. Give me about 10 of them. I'll take 10.
10. That's going to mean we need to delay at least a day or two.
Even better. That means I'll be back.
right. Like, I mean, you're saying like, okay, I'll come back and help, and I'll be like, you can get me back. And so he says, all right, I'll give you some helpers, but when you're back, I've got a special project for you. No more running off, at least not till we're done.
Deal.
And he puts a hand out to shake yours.
And then on my way out, I'm like,
So you shake his hand?
oh, 100%.
Okay, you're only like a little bit electrocuted.
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew this coming in. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah, so you
like
you,
the
you
hair
shake,
like
you shake his
on
hand.
my
Yeah,
wrist.
you see, I think Tack, you see a little like frisson, like zap over Torgor to his hair stands up.
Yeah, I think Tack remembers Torgor specifically taking off his glove coming in so that he can get zapped. So it's like, what the fuck?
this is how we do it.
That's
That's how
how
I
you-
know. It's less messy than a blood pact, honestly.
Yeah, right. It's not like he hacked off your leg and beat you with it.
Right.
He's both.
And then I on my way out, I look at the whip rack. Which one do you not need?
He gives you a wide-eyed look, and he's like, Torgor, I need all of them. They're my
come on.
babies.
I know, you say this every time, but truly, come on.
And he
This is fun.
gets up.
I trusted you with a lot.
He gets up and he prances over to the whip rack, and very like he almost like Liza Minnelli's the whip rack a little, like he kind of like leans on it dramatically and kind of like rolls across it, like touching the whips, like a young child playing in fall leaves. You know, he's just kind of like rolling around, and he's just like, I just love them so much. And he takes one down, and he kind of like wraps it around his wrist and like stretches it. It makes this like creaking noise, and he looks at Tack and he says, "Don't you just love the feel of leather?" And he like like pulls on it.
Well, you know what else feels great? And I like reach out and I hand him my loot.
Okay, so you're holding it, and he looks at
Yeah.
it, and he's like, "What do you want me to do with that, Torgor?"
It's insurance.
Oh, I see. How loyal of you. And he takes it, and he plays an out of tune like chord on it, and you see his nails like click across the strings. He's like, "Oh, I think it's out of tune," and he starts.
No, that's not. No,
He
that's
starts
not
like
supposed to be.
twisting the key.
This
And
is the worst part.
yeah, and you can just hear it like straining as he like tightens the strings, and he's just like watching your face. How do do you feel about that? And is that evident to him? Do you let him see your distress, or are
Oh,
you
it's 100% apparent on my face. It's just so pain. But it like honestly not saying anything because
Single Denzel Washington tear.
right.
Well, because that's what he wants, right? He's putting
Strong man.
he's putting the screws to you. He's like, oh, this thing you love, let me just torture it a little.
Right. If I made a big show of it, I'd be making a show of it. And so it's really he's looking for me to be in pain in this moment. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
from pain comes pleasure, right?
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
he's just fucking with you, and you can feel it. And I think maybe in that moment, like kerfuffle, the lesson of one of the lessons of the Rakdos is you're reminded of it. This thing that like you only know you love something if you're afraid of it being tortured to death. And so you're like, wait, I do really like that loot, because you watch him like get right to the edge of breaking the strings. And then he lets go and he says, that's better. I'll take good care of her while you're gone. And he like scrapes his fingernails down the strings.
Oh, God.
Oh, I hate
Oh,
it.
God.
And
I should have given him the flute. Should have given him the bone flute.
So he looks to attack and he says, are you sure there's nothing else you want to leave in my hands?
Not my decision to say.
Nah, that's cool. I'm gonna stand outside. Cool. Tack is
Yeah, you're just like on your way out. Yeah, and he just as you go, he just says like, pleasure to meet you, Tack. See you next time.
Oh God, no, please.
Okay.
That's all out loud.
Yeah.
God, no.
So the two of you head out of the tent. Kerfuffle will get some clowns at your disposal, Torgor. Somewhere in the background in the soundtrack, we can hear like an organ grinder playing that like the carnival music out of tune. As you
Am I looking at this one like a little whip that he handed me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so you head out and I think basically like you can call on these goons whenever you need to execute that part of your plan. So you just let me know when you need them and they'll be at your disposal.
Okay.
So meanwhile, while Tack and Torgor are down in Midori Park, what are Road and Winninger gonna get up to?
What is Road getting up to? I know what Winninger is getting up to. Now I'm curious what.
Well, Road has to schedule like a lunch with her sister.
That's right.
We don't have the list, so
Mm-hmm.
that needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I
Wait,
think.
Are you sure you want to go this alone?
Mm.
You don't want me there?
Oh, Tack's not here, so
What?
yeah, alone.
Yeah, but I mean, like other people can go with and like help.
Torgor's also not here. So.
Oh my God, I hate you all. I hate everyone. Fine. And he like scoops up his blueprints. And goes to the other room.
I was mostly joking. Do you need help? Is something
No,
Road says through the door
I was
closed.
joking too. Do you need help? Get out of my face.
Clunk. I love it. All right. So Road, you know where your sister like lives and works. And it's fairly easy to get in touch with her. So I think it's reasonable to assume that you would have like made like a lunch date or something. And
Yeah.
it probably, she's one of those people who's only going to hang out with you if you're willing to go to the neighborhood where she works, because she's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go across town and have lunch with you. Sorry. I'm very busy. I'm a very busy Senate investigator. So.
And I honestly do think that one, Road would definitely have stopped at her apartment to get like 6 outfits because she does not know when she will be back. So she's got
Okay.
she like went and did that first, even though we kind of all agreed not to go anywhere.
Mhm.
And then I think that
Can
like
we-
Road's gonna try.
Can we take a second to see what Road's apartment looks like? Because we haven't seen where Road lives.
Well, yeah, we there's a huge bathroom. I remembered we talked about the
Mhm.
bathroom.
Yeah.
It being large.
So when you get there and you come in and you like take a look around your house, what is it like? Are you very businesslike? Do you just come in and grab your stuff and leave, or is there a moment where you're like, you look at your bed and you're like, I could sleep there tonight, but I'm caught up in this whole thing. Like, what's this emotional subtext of you being home?
yeah, it's kind of a place that she tries to keep as emotionally adrift as possible. So it's like she didn't make the bed too comfortable because then she'd want to be in it more. And it's one of those people where it's like, no, I'm not gonna buy a couch. Why would I need a couch in this apartment? And so I feel like the closet has like become the office, and now the closet is just out in the actual living space because she had too many clothes. So it's her apartment, I think, is just a glorified closet at this point.
Nice. You live in a storage facility.
Yeah, for separate outfits.
Okay, cool.
And I'm sure she spends more of her rent than she should on clothing. So
I like that. So it's like the place is just a venue, but the clothes are what's important to Road.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For sure.
Okay, cool. All right. So you pick out some outfits that you think you might need for later, and then head off to meet your
Yeah. And actually while I'm there, because I'm in one of the zonats, I'd quickly like to just sneak down into like I have some sort of clearance, I'm sure. But I'd just like to sneak into like whatever the rejects room is.
Right, because your apartment is in like one of the subterranean like Simic facilities. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah,
I'd like to just like sneak into an experiments reject room and just kind of like steal like a small like weird looking fish that was experimented on.
You just want to steal like a I mean, you know, a fish will just die if you take it out of the water, right? That's a basic biology.
It's in a little tank, and I bring it back to I want to bring it back to the ghost in the shell. But I just want to take this little weird looking fish thing.
Okay. Well, there's no such thing as just a fish in the Simic philosophy. So it's got to be like a fish combined with some other animal. What is it a hybrid of? It's a fish.
Man.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Could be a mammal. It could be an amphibian.
Chimpanzee.
Wow.
Fish chimp. It's a sea monkey.
I'm funny. What could it be?
I like it. Good job.
It's a lemur.
Gosh, yeah. I guess it's one of those then.
Yeah, I like it. I know that. I think that's great. Okay, sure. So you want to kidnap some kind of sea monkey from the zone, but I think it's like you're not taking it illegally because no one wants it, right?
Yeah, no one wants it. So
okay. This is Rhodes solidifying her position as Jessie from Team Rocket.
Yeah, so you have it's like a little cage, because I guess this thing can breathe in water and in air. You have a little cage, and in it is, and it's not like a gorilla. It's like a spider monkey or like a little lemur. So it's only like a little tiny guy. Yeah, like a marmoset, exactly. It's like a scaly monkey with gills. And you just go and withdraw it from the animal bank, and take it with you. Okay, sure.
And so then Red drops like all of the 12 outfits that she probably has packed in an overnight bag, and the weird fish monkey back at host.
Okay, and so when you come in, I feel like you get a lot of weird looks. Like, what are you doing? What is this thing? Or do you have the cage covered?
I have the cage covered, absolutely.
Okay, make an animal handling check.
Oh fuck! I have no. I don't know if I've ever used that skill before in my whole ass life.
New experiences every day.
Oh my gosh, animal handling. Oh, I have a 2 in it. I also got a 5.
Oh no, you rolled a 5. Okay. All right. So as you're coming in with all of your like clothes in your garment bag, and you have your like monkey in this cage, you're trying to get it in, and I think probably the sea monkey smells like something, like maybe the baked goods in the air, and starts making noise and like rattling around in the cage, and everybody in the main room like looks over at you and this like loud cage that you have.
Bro just keeps walking.
Just try to like, it's fine. It's fine. Just like, go into the back room. Okay. Well, the room's already really crowded, but you find a place to.
I know. It's
stuff
like
your-
one. There's like only the coffee table is the only thing not yet covered, and
Mhm.
Road just covers it up. It's the final nail in the casket of this being the new junk room.
Mhm, mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's what it is now.
Okay.
And then after Road does that, she's gonna try and go. I think genuinely, without warning, surprise her sister.
Oh, good. I find that people like Triska love being surprised. I think that's like their favorite thing. So
Yeah.
that's good. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you head over to District 1 and you're going to surprise her at work?
Yes.
And you're trying to
But in like a
time
fun
this
way.
particularly, or are you just going to show up?
Time this in the particular time that like she would normally go to lunch.
Mhm.
Just when everyone leaves.
Yeah.
And just hopefully it's not like a weekend. We're just doing it.
I mean, she's a workaholic. I don't think she takes like
That's also
weekends,
true.
right?
What are weekends?
And like lunchtime is just like a monkey fish sandwich at her desk, real quick in between, and like 6 coffees. But yeah, I think you get there, and the person at the desk, they recognize you from the last time you were here, and you kind of look like your sister. And they're like, oh yeah, she's just back at her desk in the bullpen. And so yeah, you walk back out there, and yeah, she has like she has a desk that she works at out here when she's working on like cases with other officers, and then she probably has like her own office. But right now, like I said, you see her pacing around in front of a like one of those big cop like boards with like stuff written on it, and she's obviously in the middle of working on something, and she is like eating a sandwich and drinking a coffee. But she doesn't see you. She's in the middle of talking to like another officer about something they're working
Okay,
on.
great. I will wait until that conversation with that officer is done. I'm not a heathen.
Okay. All right.
But when the conversation sort of lulls, Road will kind of step sort of into, oh my God, do they just let me into the bullpen? That seems like a egregious oversight.
I think like this isn't, there's no like secret stuff back here. Like it's an open area and people are coming and going, and there are people being interviewed at other desks, right? This is that room from every like cop procedural where I don't know anything about police, but I've watched some TV where like everybody's all in one room and like people are getting either like booked or like talked to before they're taken elsewhere. It's sort of not like an open area. So yeah, that's where you see her. And I think, the conversation ends where like she like takes a sip of her coffee and makes a face and gives it to the other cop and is like, this is cold, go give me another one. And he goes off to do that. And then she turns around and she sees you as she's like balling up the wrapper for her sandwich.
Great, very innocent smiles. Hi.
What are you doing here? Throws the garbage away.
I thought you might want to do that lunch we were talking about.
Yeah, the last time that I saw you, the guild hall burned down, and I didn't see you again for the rest of the night. Do you have any insight into that?
Oh, I'd love to get lunch with you. And
Yeah,
then-
how about before we do that, I show you something in my office? And she walks up behind you, like puts her arm around you, like, let's go over here. I have to show you something.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go
We go-
back to her office, which I think has the same kind of semiotic neutrality that your apartment does. Like there's nothing in here that indicates that a person uses this office except that there's stuff around. Like her chair, there's no wear to it. Like she never sits in it. The desk has stuff piled on it, but it doesn't look like functional. And so you come in and she pushes the door closed and she says, so I was wondering, and she hands you a piece of paper. She pulls a piece of paper off her desk and hands it to you and waits for you to look at it.
Okay, I look at the piece of paper.
Definitely a picture of Torgor.
Okay.
Do you know anything about this Minotaur? Because he looks unusually familiar to me, Rode.
In what way?
Well, in the way that I'm sure that I met him before. Him and that Vidalkin friend of yours. The ones who were trying to become big shot lawyers. I don't know. Am I crazy, Road? Am I losing my mind? Because I feel like I know this Minotaur. Maybe
I feel like you met a goblin and a Vidalkin, both of who are esteemed up-and-comers. But no, I've never seen this Minotaur before in my life.
Oh, really? That's so strange. He seems so familiar. Make a deception check. You are lying about not knowing him.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have 14.
All right. Okay. So she looks at you skeptically, and
but honestly, it's not like the kind of lie where it's like, no, I'm not telling you right now.
Well, she's copying you, right? Where she's just like saying things that aren't really like necessarily true, just to see what you'll do or say, right?
Right.
Like she's just like, oh, look at this guy. I know you're his best friend. And you're like, well, no, I don't know that guy, right? Like she's just trying to get you off balance. And so she says, you know, it's illegal to lie to me about this stuff, right?
Why do you sound so mad? Can we approach this conversation in sort of an amicable way, and then we can go to you being a cop? We can do.
She's like, you don't understand, Road. This job, being a cop, that is who I am. That's all there is. I dedicate every minute of my waking life to this job. Because without us, without the Senate, people like that, and she points at the picture of Torkor, would have blood and chaos in the streets. We are the only reason that this city stays alive. I made sacrifices for Ravnica. Some of us care about things that are just our own lives, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 1, you're turning into our mother. 2,
how dare you?
2, I would love to talk to you about who started the fire, but the first thing you'll need to do is stop thinking that did it.
Wow, that. Okay, make a persuasion check.
Just a straight up 0. Here we go. It's a 4.
Okay. So she
Can I give Katie my inspiration?
not after she rolled, you can't.
I had inspiration. I didn't know if that was the time.
Reese's and Pieces, I tried.
Yep. So
save it.
She you know what? It's not. She doesn't turn you away. Doesn't she? This isn't a like hard block, but it isn't like the like. Okay, I'm because if you had succeeded, she would have kind of relaxed a little and be like, you know what? Okay, like I am being like, Mom, I don't mean to. Like, let's go. But instead, she's like, yeah, well, maybe the problem isn't that I'm being too much like our mother, but that you're not being enough like her. You have to grow up sometime, Road. Give me that. She takes the paper and she like puts it back on her desk, and she says, she like rubs her temples. She's like, listen, I am just in the middle of a lot of stuff right now, and I don't have a lot of time to be distracted by whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really bad time for you to decide that you want us to be friends again.
All right, then how about colleagues, if that would work better for you?
We already have a division that works with the Simic. Maybe you should talk to them.
Oh, okay. So I have information that you want, and I think you'd want to leave this room knowing it.
Information about what?
You see a lot of things when you're inside a party, maybe fire starting things that, I don't know, you might want to know about.
This thing that you're doing right now, this coy, I know something, I'm not going to tell you what it is thing, it's not cute, Road. If you have something to say it. But before you do that, what is your passive perception?
Okay. 12.
Okay. There is a ornithopter in the room. It's not like fluttering around, but it's sitting on a shelf nearby. And you notice it before you say anything. You see it behind her. It's just like sitting there. It looks like it's turned off.
What on earth? Okay. Rhoda's kind of like obviously just like staring at it, incredibly confused. It kind of like throws her off for a minute.
She looks at it and kind of scowls and looks back at you. What?
I don't know. I would have assumed you would have been trusted to do your job.
Yeah. Well, not everybody feels as comfortable with those things.
I don't. I think they're awful.
You came here to say something. What is it?
Do you know why Wenzel Ironclad was arrested?
No. What? Who's Wenzel Ironclad?
That's his name, right? I didn't.
It is. Yes. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I would have told you. I wouldn't have had the NPC like
great
bust your ass about it. Yeah.
Is he not in? Oh no, we thought that he was arrested for starting the fire. No. Oh no, it was all those murder. Sorry, I'm back on the same page.
Yeah, it's okay. I assume that Ro didn't say any of that out loud.
Okay. No, I had to figure.
How do you know about all the murders?
What do you know about all the murders in the basement that I don't know about?
Yeah.
You've never heard his name? He's in Azorius custody right now.
You can see her like working through it in her head, and she's like, well, I know an Ironclad. That was the whole point of before the fire and everything. But hold on, don't touch anything. And she walks out of her office.
I absolutely touch things.
So she leaves. What are you gonna do? You have some time while she goes
like,
to like
peer my head over to look at the papers on the desk.
Okay. Yeah. Make an investigation check.
Maybe remove anything relating to me.
You're a sultry voice, a sultry Minotaur voice. Okay.
Please.
It seems to you that your sister, Officer Triska, is the officer in charge of finding Torgor. That her current she was the one who when this case came up, finding this mad Minotaur. This is the job. She's currently on the hunt for Torgor.
All right. Okay. That's great news. Yeah. That doesn't complicate my life.
With an 11, you don't have enough time to like really figure out how close they are or how much they know about Torgor yet. But yeah, she is personally responsible in some way for that. Yeah. So, okay, cool. It looks like Road is temporarily frozen, so that's all right. We can cut away. We'll come back to you, Road. Katie's very good at sitting very still. Okay, you good?
I'm not.
There you go.
I promise.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I just wanted to see if we needed to jump over to Winnegar, but if you're back, we're good.
No, my gosh, I'm back. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It was only a second. So what? What are you doing when she comes back? Are you like just kind of standing staring at the wall? Does she like almost catch you?
I'm sitting with my feet up on her desk. That's exactly what
Okay, the opposite of both of those things. All right, so she comes in, and she's holding a file. She's holding some papers, and she looks at you, and she's like, "Get away from there."
I just kind of, I imagine it's a rolling chair. I just kind of push my chair back, but I'm still
roll
sitting.
away from her desk. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She looks at the file, and she's like, "I can't show you this. But I asked around, and there is an Ironclad currently in Azorius custody. I can't tell you what for, but I can confirm that we have him. Why?
Okay.
What do you need him for? What are you doing here?
I just need to have a conversation with him.
She shakes her head and she says the only person who's allowed to talk to him right now is his lawyer, and I don't think he has one.
What if I got him a lawyer?
Should have took someone along.
And she puts her hands up and she's like, if you want to hire a lawyer for this guy, then sure, but you're gonna have to make it fast. He's being transferred.
Okay, so then if I get a lawyer, where am I going? If I have to meet him before he's transferred?
Do it quick and come back here, because in a couple of days, he's going to be out of your hands, and whether he has a lawyer or not, it's not going to matter. This guy upset some pretty important people. How are you involved in this? Are you in trouble, Road?
I've always been in trouble. That's kind of the thing, you know?
I don't mean your usual bullshit. I mean real trouble. Did you do something?
I didn't do anything.
I've heard that before.
I'm just trying, same as you, I am trying to make the world a better place.
She gives you a judgmental look that you've seen on your mother's face many times.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just kind of like looked down at the portrait of Torgar and I was like, listen, I'll be 100 with you. Torgar did not start that fire. You're going to need to figure something else out.
You know, if I could just have a conversation with this Torgor, we could get all of this sorted out. And if your friend hasn't done anything wrong, well, he's got nothing to be afraid of.
I've got terrible news. None of my friends trust cops. So I'm...
She shakes her head and she's like, that's the problem. There's a...
Road makes that noise.
Yeah.
He 150% makes that noise.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Everybody thinks they know best now. Everybody thinks they can just go and be a Boros vigilante, or that it doesn't matter if there's law and order in Ravnica. Even the Guildpact just fucked off. How are we supposed to keep this place together if... You know what? It doesn't matter. You made your choice a long time ago. I don't have time to have lunch with you, Road. I have a job to do. I have work to do. Some of us need to keep this place from going to hell. So if you could get out of my office and go back to whatever trouble you're in, that would be great.
All right. I'll go, but I just want you to know that if it's lawfulness that you're clinging to in these coming times, you're going to be cast adrift quite quickly. Find me if you need help, and then I leave.
Okay, yeah. And so you walk back through, and I think this is the like the kind of like reaffirming shot where, you know, you walk through the Azorius like bull pit, and there's like, yeah, like shouting, and we see like a Gruul trying to like break his handcuffs, and a bunch of cops have to run over, and it's all kind of in slow motion showing all of this like chaos. And then there's the like microcosm of like an under policed room. There's not enough people to handle all of the chaos that's boiling over, and you walk right through it and head out, and we see your sister standing at the door, arms folded, watching you like, that girl, goddamn.
Well, it wasn't great, but it also wasn't awful. So...
Yeah, you learned a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, you have a sea monkey to go home to now, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's the most
All
important
right.
part.
Time to go find a lawyer.
Yeah, or like invent one, or yeah.
Orlando and
Ronald Cuffington.
Ronald Cuffington attorney into
I think
law.
this is the job for Ronald Cuffington. I'm so mad.
Wait. You don't want Barbando, his partner, there as well?
So the Azorius Senate have like lawmakers and cops, but the procedure of law is maybe more a part of the Orzhov. Like they have advocates, and like it's a very like money driven thing where you have to buy a very expensive lawyer from the Orzhov, and they will convince the Azorius that it is in everyone's best interest to punish you less severely. So that would be, the Orzhov would be where you would need to go to get yourself a real lawyer, or pretend to be one, I guess. So that's something that Road would know. Cool.
All right, I'm heading back to host to see if anyone knows how to get someone who can either be a lawyer or pretend to be one.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go great. That'll be fine. Okay, cool. So you head back to the host in the shell, and I think rather than start on checking in with Winnegar now, let's grab our break, and when we get back, we'll do we'll go see if Winnegar is going to. And you have so many options. Like you could go mend your relationship with Rourke, or you could go chase down Ral, or you could make something that explodes. All of those are great options. I'm looking forward to seeing what Winnegar gets up to when we get back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Woo-hoo.